Okay, now with us today we have local personality, professional MMA fighter, business owner and entrepreneur. Brentin Mumford. Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming to the studio.
How are you, buddy?
Good.
Good. He's not Darth Vader too. He doesn't do. That's just his nose.
Yeah, struggling a bit with my breathing at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with just recently on the weekend, one of your mates just had a fight. Do you want to just go through that and what your opinion was on that and how it went down? Because there'll be a lot of people that are watching this on YouTube and listening that are massive MMA UFC fighters and would have been following it as well.
Well, I don't know him as well. I just go to the same gym as him to do some of my fight camps, but I've actually never really trained with him at the gym because the last few times that I've been there, he'd only just won.
Say his name.
Israel Adesanya. So he'd only just won the title, maybe, or I think it was the interim title against Kelvin Gastelum at the time. So he wasn't actually at the gym, but I was over there with Brad Riddell and Alex Volkanovski. Obviously both UFC fighters as well. Alex is the featherweight champion. But yeah, I actually haven't watched the full fight yesterday because I was coaching all weekend.
Oh, right. Yeah,
so I'll try and catch up with today. I watched this morning before I come in here, I watched the women's strawweight title fight.
Yep.
And then afterwards I'll watch the full one. I kind of caught bits and pieces of it, but I was up in the middle of nowhere in Jacobs Well at a amateur kickboxing tournament. Like kickboxing day thingy, like had a bit of everything out, so different.
We'll get into it later, but you're coaching kids as well?
Just at the moment I'm coaching because obviously before my last fight, got tangled in a weird position and tore my pec off the bone.
Oh, nice.
real nice. Thanks, mate. What a response. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Just a nice surgery and a long layoff, so that's good.
And how's it going? Is it 100% yet, or?
Nah, I did my testing on it last week at Fighting Fit, which is at Nerang.
You can't do much with that, can you? There's not much they can do, really.
No, so it was completely torn, so complete tear. They drilled holes in the humerus and they pull it back across and stitch it back in place. So then, so I did my testing and it's, according to the test, it's about 33% weaker than the right.
Jeez.
So I don't know, he says I'm way ahead of the rehab curve, is whatever they call it, and that's looking pretty good.
Did you have a fight lined up?
I did. It was 2 weeks before that fight. So that fight was meant to be in Melbourne, September 24th, I think, off the top of my head. And I tore it 2 weeks before that, and then had surgery in October.
So how'd you tear it?
Just got tangled in a weird position. It was a little bit like a freak. Just got tangled like you'd see in rugby league, like a chicken wing tackle.
Yeah.
Similar to a chicken wing tackle, and I was going one way, he was going the other. My arm was outstretched, and just
snap.
Yeah, it just went.
So you're already
like a bang.
Already fully fledged into your training camp, ready to go.
I was on the last kind of week, last kind of week of real hard stuff, and then it was going to be mainly no contact, but high cardio, less contact. So, so at the moment I'm doing more coaching, it's been kept my mind in it, which is good. So I had 3 guys fight this weekend. So one guy had his first ever MMA fight. He's a local lad from here, Alex Bilski. He had his first MMA fight. Unfortunately, got clipped early in the first and a bit of a scramble. He was a bit rattled, so the guy took his back and finished him. And then yesterday we had a kickboxing. There was a tournament for my young bloke Sonny. That's in Byron. That's where they're from, Byron. Sorry. And then Tavi, another guy, was fighting in his first ever kickboxing fight. So.
How old are these guys? You said young fellas.
Sonny's 10. And Tavi, I believe, maybe closer to 40, maybe off the top of my head.
Okay.
So he's a bit older, but he's already had one MMA fight as well on Eternal. He done a thing that's called Wimp to Warrior. I don't know if you ever heard of Wimp to Warrior. You ever heard of that? No. So I'll explain that because we're actually.
That's just local Joe Blows getting in trained for so long.
Yeah, so I'll explain that because we're actually about to run a new season of it in Byron at the academy where I do all my coaching. So what they do is it's a 20-week thing. It's you sign up for it, so you can have no experience. You basically just lock yourself in for 20 weeks. You come in, you do 5 days a week for 20 weeks, and at the end of it, you have the potential to be matched up with someone else in that group of people, and you'll fight at the end.
Yeah, to test your skills.
It's so me and A mate of mine, Selby, who's also from City Kickboxing, where Israel's from,
Yep.
and Brad and Alex and that all train from. He's coming over to do it with me.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna be coaching that.
Yep.
So Tavi actually originally he signed up as part of that Wimp to Warrior program and had an MMA fight, and then just kind of never left. Just kept training, but now he's just focusing more on the kickboxing side.
So these kids that are coming through, like, so they can join this Wimp to Warrior and
No, so that's
for men.
just for men.
Yeah.
No, it's not just men and women. It's
Yeah, it's
it's
so-
2000
is there an age?
it's 2020. They're
Okay.
women are allowed in the gyms.
I was trying to say it's not for kids. It's
Yeah, so
an
what-
older.
Yeah,
So what age group start on this Wimp to Warrior?
I'm actually not sure of the age group, but it's I think it's a bit expensive, so it's probably more for adults that want to change. I guess it can be for younger guys too and younger girls, but I think the kids. I don't know. I don't know if it does it for kids. I actually don't know that side of it, so I wouldn't be able to answer it properly. But I'm pretty sure it's for adults or maybe like teenagers up.
We'll get the links and stuff and info before you leave. We'll put them on the show notes so people can, if
Yeah.
people are keen
Go
and want to get
look.
involved.
Yeah,
they
because
can have a look.
if people are keen, they can contact Wimp to Warrior. We can contact Wimp to Warrior anyways and say that you've heard there is one coming to Byron Bay or
Yeah.
to this area, Northern Rivers area, and get your name down anyways, because we're about to release all the marketing for it anyways. So it's a great opportunity too. Like a lot of the people that actually come through that have gone on. There was one the other day. I think it was from Brisbane. The guy was 54, had his first fight.
Yeah.
Unreal, like you could just go from no experience at all to get in there.
So you reckon there's a chance for Al?
100%.
Oh, there you go.
Especially after that comment about women, I think there's a fair chance it could be a woman that probably flog him.
Hey, so tell us. Well, I know we're getting into a bit there, but your history, like, what made you get into all this, and what started you off, and your passions and stuff like that. Now we were talking earlier that you're into skating. Now it's not figure skating. It's had a sort of.
No, so when I was younger, I actually played roll hockey just at the skating rink in Lismore.
Okay.
Did that for years. We had a good crew down there for a long year, like a lot of years. Traveled lots with that, and then that kind of took that as far as could go, and then I was starting to kind of delved into going towards ice hockey, and then obviously it wasn't too much around this area, none. Back then, right? So, or even like there's nowhere to skate,
So Brisbane
right?
would have been there.
Brisbane, and even back then, you're going back, well, I'd be 17, 18 years ago, I guess.
Wow.
So, and that was like, there's no highways that, quickly shoot up to Bundle or something like that. It was nothing like that. It was literally drive from here up to the airport, which is what that's Boondle. Is it Boondle up there? Yeah. Bundle's Gold Coast, Boondle's Brisbane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember from the top of my head, but you go to Boondle, it would be like a 2 hour and 45, I think it was back then, and I had to get Dad to drive me, and it'd be like a Thursday night, so it'd be a school night, so he'd drive me up. We'd play for like 2 hours, because it's a long game, right?
Yeah.
So every time the whistle goes, the timer stops. It's 3 20-minute periods, and every time the whistle goes, the timer stops, so game drags out. Drive back, so you think daylight savings, all that stuff as well. You get home like 2 in the morning, then I got school the next morning, so it was quite hard. So then I ended up going to school in Canada for 2 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and then playing ice hockey over there, and
Did you enjoy going over to Canada?
It was
would have been a mega experience.
Yeah, no, it was really good. Yeah, it was just kind of out of the blue. I was over there. I actually played roll hockey for Australia, and I went over there and I played in the World All-Star game. And one of the kids I played in the World All-Star team with, I think it was like 2002 maybe, in Toronto. And then the next year, I played in the same team with the same guy, and it was just randomly got billeted out for the week previous with him and his parents. And then obviously they got talking to my parents, and then they pretty much took me in for the 2 years.
How cool is that?
So it was a good opportunity.
So then from there you've gone into the MMA. Is it because you started a few fights on the rink? Or
No, just
spotted you?
no, nothing to do with that. Just I come back home, and then I just didn't making it back to Canada. Just things in life change, things happen, and then just never ever made it back. And I got to an age where it was like the opportunities were a lot thinner. They were not as many of them, I guess.
Yeah.
At that age, they really want you young, kind of like NRL, same kind of thing. If you're going to make it in something, you kind of got to tick a few boxes by the time you're like 15. Once you get past there, you're starting to get to the end of like, should you go out and get a job or should you keep trying? And so I come back and and just I did an apprenticeship, and then it wasn't until I did the apprenticeship that I was like, oh, this is not life for me.
Like, what's the apprenticeship?
Every day.
I'm a qualified plumber.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, but it just live like that lifestyle. Just it seems for me. I know a lot of other people can do it, but for me, it just seems so pointless.
Yeah.
Like it's just like waking up to go do the same job, and this it feels like it's just you're like in a revolving door.
Yep.
Just going around in circles, never getting anywhere. It's like you wake up, go to work, come home, go to bed every day. I feel like you have no goals, and a lot of other people are happy with that lifestyle. But I guess that's what makes me different to a lot of other people. Is I'm not happy with that. Mediocrity for me, that's what that is, and I'm not. I just can't settle for that.
No, that's fair enough, and that's obviously that's what drives you along to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So then when I actually just started to do Muay Thai with a guy I went to school with, Jeff Ross, who's just a local guy as well, and he done jiu-jitsu and stuff as well. Just at a local martial arts place. I would mention the name, but the guy doesn't like me no more, so I'm not going to give him any publicity, you know.
Very cool.
He don't really like me, and I'll get into the story why he doesn't like me because it's pretty pathetic, really. But
anyway,
it's not a bad one, but I'll get into it. But so I went to this local Muay Thai place where Jeff trained at, and I started doing that, and then I just really enjoyed it, and I had my first fight. Like I'd never really even done too much jiu-jitsu. I just kind of no wrestling at all.
So was it your mate that got you event to go, or was it your idea, or?
It was I just knew he went there, and it was something that like when I lived in Canada, it was like that was 2004, 2005, and that 2005 was the year that the Ultimate Fighter had their first ever show, and had that Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner like crazy finale to it.
Yep.
And that was kind of when it burst into like public. We watched that. Me and all my friends in Canada watched that. And I was like, oh, this would be such a cool sport to do. And it was not. It was obviously years later when I started, but I still always had that like, oh, that would be cool to try.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously not knowing how much was involved in it. Then so I did it here, but I never had any like there was no wrestling coaches. It was just like the jiu-jitsu was pretty.
Boxing maybe in Lismore.
No, it was just purely Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And then there was a little bit of jiu-jitsu with it. Nothing like what I obviously went on to gyms I've been to and whatnot. But I had my first fight, which I won, and I was like, oh god, that's a fucking cool thing, you know, like to win. Like,
was it a local fight or?
No, it was on the Gold Coast.
Okay.
Yeah. So I fought actually on the promotion that I went on to win a belt for. That same promotion, I fought on it as an amateur, and then went into fight pro, and then win the welterweight title in that show. But yeah, so then I had that win, and it was like this real weird, like unless you've done it, you're not going to ever know how to relate to the experience, I guess, because it was like it's 3-minute rounds of chaos essentially. Like you don't just kind of lose it
in a cage,
another guy.
Escape.
Yeah, and then I won that one. I remember, like it was, you know, obviously stoked. You won. To going out the back to having like an adrenaline dump from hell, and then vomiting out in the back in the bushes. But then after that, I was like, that's a fucking cool feeling, you know.
Yeah.
So then I obviously had another one, lost that one, which kind of brought me back to earth, you know, grounded me again. I was like, oh, I've got to change up because the guy just out wrestled me.
Yep.
I've got to change up my
You
training.
still have that dump and that vomit?
Nah, not anymore. That was just that was the one time. And then I just knew I had to change up my training. So what I did was I started going to do jiu-jitsu at another gym, which was actually, I was going there with guys from the gym as well, like with Jeff and another guy named Matt Towns, and really close friends with still today. We started going to this other gym, and then this other guy, give him no publicity, but he was like, he just wouldn't accept that he didn't have everything we needed. So I was like, well, we gotta go our separate ways, and then from then on, he's just never had a nice thing to say about me.
Yeah. So because in your sport, you got to be a specialist in everything, haven't you?
Well,
like
you don't have to be a specialist, because you can't be. If you're a specialist at boxing, then you've obviously there's probably something else missing. You can be better at certain things, or you can train more in certain ways, but you have to be all round to some degree. Like my weakness before a lot of the time was, wrestling, which I still do so much of it because I feel like that still is my weakness. But yeah, they just didn't offer that, so then I had to outsource, and I still today, because where we are here, there's just not the bodies to train with, there's not the coaching.
What do you mean by bodies? You mean like
training
talent
partners?
to go on to that level? Yeah.
Yeah,
What belt are you now?
brown belt now. There's a
Yeah.
good jiu-jitsu here in Byron. There's no debate in that. There's black belts and brown belts and pearl belts that are unreal, that are winning competitions every weekend. But there's just no bodies here for
You need
MMA.
quality
For
training
MMA,
with too, don't you?
it's just MMA, right?
Yeah.
It's a different jiu-jitsu. The guy can help you, but they're not going to help you stand up and strike and mold all the facets of MMA together like you would if you go to a gym on the Gold Coast that just has an MMA program. So what I had to do was I started to go to a gym on the Gold Coast, and then I'll go to a gym in Brisbane and just doing heaps of
Because you're also going overseas to training camps and stuff like that. That's, I guess it's like any sort of sport. It doesn't matter where you are. The experts might be in America or might be in Japan or whatever. It doesn't matter. And so you've just come back from a training camp?
Nah, so I started going to Thailand. I heard people were going there.
And you've sourced your stuff yourself. You've got a manager, have you?
No, I do. I have a manager at the moment now, but not to do with any of this training stuff. That's only more of a recent thing in the last year or so. But before all that, it was just like I'd just see what other people were doing. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do something similar to that. So then I went to Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand. Did that. I used to go there for a month at a time, and then obviously I met a lot of people I'm still friends with today as well from there. And then we would I'd just stay there for the whole month, do my training camp there. So I'd do a few weeks here, a whole month over there, finish the camp here, and then I'd fight. You know what I mean? So it's not ideal because it's kind of like you can't be training all year round at that high level. But you've got to make the best of a bad situation. And living in Lismore, not having the coaching, having the bodies to train with and all that, that's just what you have to do. So I was going to Thailand. That was alright. Met a lot of cool people there, and that's actually where I met Brad Riddell, who's got me, who I go and stay with when I go to New Zealand to City Kickboxing. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot closer. 3 hours. It's over the ditch to New Zealand. That's it.
Quality gym.
Unreal gym. Off the top of my head, I think they got voted I think it was 2009 ESPN Gym of the Year or something like that. They got like a whole stable of UFC fighters now, and people there's guys in the PFL, which is another promotion in America. So heaps of high level guys. So go over there now, which is good. Did one or two camps there. Definitely one, but I think maybe I did some of the one where I hurt before when I come back and hurt myself. Maybe I went to Tiger.
So when you say camp, you're locked in. You're locked in it was just
Nah, I just.
or was it a full?
Nah, I guess I just call it a camp, as in because it's separating a certain amount of weeks out of the year. Because for me, I can't train at that level all year round. So then I have to. So when I have work from my gym and training people and stuff like that, I have to go, all right, well, I fight in 8 weeks' time, so that's going to be my 8-week camp. So I've got to make sure my nutrition's on point. I've got to make sure I organise to go somewhere to train. I've got all my coaching sorted. Because like I said, I don't have that right here. I don't have someone who can quarterback all that for me, so I've got to quarterback it myself and go, all right, this is what I need to do. And then I have, obviously, a manager who kind of helps there somewhere, but then I go over to places like New Zealand where they've got Brad and then their head coach Eugene, who will watch the guys I'm going to fight and help me with a game plan and things like that.
We don't have to think about it so much.
As much, yeah, because you can't. Obviously, you got to have people in your corner that want to help you and know what they're talking about. Because you can't do everything yourself. You can't know everything. So.
But that's how you originally started, though. You did everything yourself. You sourced them out. You went to the Gold Coast. You went to Byron. You went everywhere there.
Yeah. Because
you're more professional now. Aren't
you just got to get guys. As I said, you can't know everything. So. But guys are even in Thailand, like the guys that coach over there, they've just got so much experience. Like no matter where no matter what area you're looking at, they've got it all covered. And the same as in New Zealand, no matter what area you're looking at, they've got it all covered. And it shows in both Tiger and City Kickboxing's performances in the UFC. City Kickboxing has like some massive win percentage.
Yeah.
And Tiger Muay Thai has got guys that come in like I was doing as well, who still fight for Tiger, but they come and go because obviously it's hard to live there full time.
You've had 17 professional fights, is that right?
17, yeah.
And 10 wins?
10 wins and 7 losses, even though one of those losses I had admitted to because I actually got disqualified. A guy was playing the hand game on the mat, and I went to kick him and he put his hand on the mat and I got him in the face and then he milked it. So, but it is what it is.
Enjoy the sport.
Yeah.
So have you got like some sort of idol that you like going, oh, that's where I want to be, or that's what I'm aiming for, or because everyone's got some sort of idol that they sort of look up to, or if you've got some hero, or
I don't know if I have not really. Not off the top of my head. I don't think I have an idol.
Yeah. Is there anyone you look up to, going, that's where I want to be at that stage, or?
No, not really. I don't really think of it like that. Do you have an idol?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Can't tell you.
God, what? It's about me, ain't it? About you.
That's right. It's
Is
your
it-
show, mate.
Is it
Your
Elton,
show.
Sir Elton John, maybe, or?
No, it's not. I never even saw him actually.
Is ya? Who's your idol?
Back to fight. I don't know. Actually, I actually don't mind The Rock at the moment. What he
The
does.
Rock?
Yeah. Yeah. Bit of a celebrity guy. What he
Is
does
it-
around that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Nothing to do with the haircuts.
Nothing to do with the haircuts. No.
sweet.
No.
Well, Brad and Al go to the same hairdresser.
Yeah.
So,
I actually, to be honest, I don't. Off the top of my head, I can't think of an idol. When I was a kid, my idol was because when I was playing roller hockey and ice hockey, my number was 91.
okay.
And because my idol back then was a Russian ice hockey player who played for Detroit Red Wings named Sergei Fedorov. That was my idol back in the day.
Okay.
I was right-handed and he was left-handed, so I was like, I'm going to be left-handed. Try it out. Obviously, it doesn't work, but I was a young kid. I was like, I'm going to be left-handed from now on.
How'd it go?
No, it didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work out for me. I went back
Gave
to
up the career?
right-handed. Yeah.
Go up the career so I can get into a bit of MMA.
But yeah, that's no.
No. It's
No.
not.
So tell me, coming up to a fight, what's your preparation?
Or
When's it start?
Well, you're,
yes.
you do your camp, like your 8-week camp, but you're generally training your fit all year round.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like when I say camp, you know,
That's
like
the serious.
that's
full-on
just
stuff.
that's just where I really focus on getting like. So I work with a nutritionist, like
Yeah.
Geordie, the fight dietitian, who, you know, he works with heaps of fighters now. Been working with him for ages, so he still keep my weight down, and I'm still training heaps. Like still train twice a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
That doesn't change.
Yeah.
It's just the volume and what you do in the training.
And you
and
start
that-
to taper off before your weight. Because what do you
Well, no.
fight at? What weight do you fight at?
At 70.
Yeah,
70
what do you
kilos,
walk around
yeah. About 83, maybe 83 kilos, so 13 kilos different.
And that's massive, isn't it?
Oh, it's alright, isn't it? Yeah, it's big. I think it's big.
Yeah, I reckon it's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, so, but it's not, as I said, it's not a camp as in you don't go away like you're going to the army or something
No.
where they take you out to Pook or whatever it's called and you got to live in the bush and shit in your hand or whatever else. Like, it's nothing like that. It's just what I call the time where I'm like, hey, this is my time to focus. I'm not going to be fucking around doing other things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I
But
just,
you don't do a camp and then come back and fight, do you? You've got
That's-
a camp and then you've got a few weeks.
No,
or months
I do
or-
a camp and I come back and fight because
Right,
that's the
okay.
whole idea of it.
Yep.
And well, after I fight, then you can chill out for a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
yeah.
And how many fights, like physically, I suppose everyone's different, but what do you generally do a year or what do you try to do? Yeah.
It depends on how bad each fight is.
Yeah.
Like you get, even when you win, it's a sport that you still get hurt.
Yeah.
When you hit them, it still hurts you the next day. You know, like it's not.
Yeah.
You don't always come out completely unscathed, even when you win quickly.
Also, like mentally, tension, like your
Yeah.
nervous system, like it takes a while to recover from that as well.
Like I knocked out one of the guys in like might have been like 54 seconds one time with a knee, and he didn't hit me with anything.
Yeah.
I did all the hitting, and I ended up with a busted knee from his jaw.
Yeah.
Couldn't walk for 2 weeks on it.
Yeah.
It was all swollen. Couldn't walk for 2 weeks. Like, you know what I mean? So it just depends on it. Like you can get straight back into it sometimes, and sometimes you can't. But ideally, four would be a good amount.
Yeah.
But I've had the worst luck with injuries, so it's just always like niggles here and there.
You want to tap on that now and then? What? Just for the
What's
young
your
kids
worst, go
that
from your
excited
worst
about getting
injury
into it,
down,
yeah.
you know? What's your worst
My worst injury was, we don't know if it was actually from fighting itself or if it was from when I had a car accident or if it was just something that as a child just never formed. So it's like little bones in your lower back that they're supposed to, like little wings that come off your spine.
Yeah, yeah.
I think off the top of my head they call it spondylolisthesis. I'm pretty sure that's what they called it. Anyways,
Can't
yeah.
correct you.
Well, yeah, I had to do, just my back started hurting and I was like, oh fuck, that doesn't feel good. So I went and got an MRI because it just kept playing up, and it turned out they got these little stress fractures, or I think it's called like a spondylolisthesis if you're born with it, and something else if it's through stress and injury.
Yeah.
And I had to take a whole year off almost, yeah, because of it, because you need to let the bone try and form without putting them under stress. It was the worst pain ever, you know what I mean? So it'd probably be that one.
How recently was that? This will.
Nah, that's years ago now.
Yeah,
I've had
right.
plenty of fights since then. That was like, that's going back, it'll be 5 years or something now, I'd say, yeah. And that'll be the pec.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pec's that wasn't a fun one because it's the surgery and then you're in a sling for 6 weeks and then you're pretty much just not doing anything with it except for like trying to get a bit of mobility back for 6 weeks. There's 12 weeks gone, you're looking at this.
Yeah.
That's that 3 months gone just before you can start doing anything. So that's probably, and as for
Knee.
training, no, because I've only ever had them cleaned out, so not
Yeah,
too
right.
bad. You know
So
what I
they're
mean?
not
Like,
you've not broken any bones?
Oops.
No, during the fight, like you.
No. Oh, no, that was from car accident. No, my nose I've done a few times. I had that cleaned out. That was recently as well. I had that just cleaned out just so I could breathe a bit better. But judging from I was going to say, judging from this microphone, I don't think it's cleaned out very well.
You sound alright.
I still sound like Darth Vader.
No, you sound alright. You sound good.
Yeah, so I had that cleaned out. Just had to open it up. I couldn't breathe properly.
Yeah.
And that turned out I had seven different types of little fractures and splints, like little splinters of the bone and the cartilage in my septum.
Nice.
So he tried to put that all back together the best he could, which he said wasn't that good. And I'll probably be back once I retire. I'll be back to get it done properly. He said I'm probably a prime candidate for a septoplasty. Yeah, for the fake nose. So I'm gonna get myself a Michael Jackson probably by the end of it.
You look good. Don't let anyone tell you different. You look great.
Adam touched on a minute ago with your training other guys and that sort of stuff, and we might tap on your career now. So you're looking at things to do after fighting. So you've started now with your own gym. So you're part owning a gym in Lismore.
Yeah. So I had that one. I started that like three or so years ago, which was kind of like something that allowed me to still obviously get an income. I can still obviously. That's the ideal, is that you get an income that allowed me to still travel away and do those fight camps we're talking about. It was essentially just a good opportunity which come up, which allowed me to still fight. So that's the whole reason it came about. It was never something I was like, oh, hey, I'm going to own a gym. That's my goal. I know there's a lot of people out there do that, but that was never my goal. Like, for me, it was just what was the easiest way that I could continue to fight, travel, train, that allowed me to make a decent income. It was having a gym, and it still works obviously to this day, So, but yeah, that'll be. I'm at the moment. Obviously, as the years have gone on, I've had to probably put a little bit more time into the gym because obviously, as I get older, you can't fight forever. So I got to make sure there's a safety net at the end of it. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket and then be left lining up down the road here at Centrelink trying to get a paycheck every second Thursday or something,
With your new nose job.
So the gym?
Yeah, with a new nose job and a settling check.
Gym's in Gunnellabar?
Gunnellabar, yes.
Cyclone
Training Centre, right next to Chemist Warehouse.
Yep.
Between Chemist Warehouse and the dentist.
You're not training MMA, you're training all sorts of...
No martial arts.
No martial arts.
No martial arts. I do... As I said before...
Is that a bit weird?
No, it's too bad because, as I said before...
Because people would think that's what you'd be doing.
Nah, so... With the martial arts side of it, if I was to do martial arts, and like I said before about the coaching and the bodies and the training, there's just not enough people around here.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which then that would leave me. We talked about then too. We touched on about being.
You'd be one of those bodies, eh?
Well, we talked about doing the gym because of freed up time. If I was to do it as martial arts, then the free time is gone because I'd be the only one that would essentially be able to coach. So then I've just fucked myself over with the time. So. It's easier for me to coach, do the fitness classes we run, do the advertising and the marketing and do my PTs and stuff like that. And I can get that out of the way in the morning. Yeah. I've got all day to train. And then at the moment, because I'm injured, I'm coaching in Byron Bay at the academy at night. Yeah. But when I'm not injured, obviously that would be the night times and I'd get my second session in. So it gives me the middle of the day to do the advertising and things like that. Or if I'm traveling, I can, drive into Brisbane to train or whatever. It allows me to do that.
It works really well.
Yeah.
I actually have had an experience with you coaching me and had a training session a while back when I was in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And you just never let up. And, it's probably one of the best things for me, just mentally and physically, because we were trying to get myself out of a chair.
Yeah.
But I still remember that.
On the battle road.
On the battle road.
Yeah, the ski erg.
You just push.
Yeah,
and I guess that's just bred into you from your fights or what you do when you train.
Yeah, you've got to find a way to make it work. And for you, in a wheelchair, had to make it so you still could get your heart rate up to so you still got some fitness. Got a session in, but because you hadn't done nothing for a while, so. But we got it done anyways. You rolled on in your chair and you just got in there and we got it done. It was good.
But you just hammered. So when you're coaching these guys, this is what you're giving them the whole time.
Nah.
Pushing. Which
is good. So
for me it was great.
Yeah, but some people we have more of a different approach to it than that, depending on what the person wants. Everything's individualised. Yeah. I don't do I know a lot of PTs in the area, and I see a lot of it on Instagram and that, and I think a lot of them are more about just what it looks like on Instagram. You know, make sure they get their followers up. Not too concerned about actually individualising anything. You know, just trying to see, they just want the likes, just doing it for the gram all the time, kind of thing. So we all individualise ours, like up at ours. The coaching up there, we try and all of our programs are all individualised, and we don't do like the. If
you're after results.
Yeah, and also too, like, when you say results too, we're not gonna. You see a lot of people like starving their clients to try and so they can get that perfect photo on Instagram. Then you see them 2 months later, they don't even look like the same picture anymore. You know, we're trying to. As cliche as it sounds, we're trying to change lives forever, not just not just for one Instagram photo. Or, you know, to get old mate down the road to come set the right lighting up and take some photos of your, you know, with your shirt off or your ass out, whatever like that. Like, you get a heap of pictures and then you see old love down the street, you know, with a gut out and all blown out. You think, oh, fucking hell, that didn't last long, did it?
No,
you know, because that's what happens.
They haven't been educated. You haven't taught them diet, what to eat, when to eat.
Yeah, so we try and get out. We try and get ours to have long-term results, and also like the ones the people who got up there now that have had good results. They're say it's one of the girls, Emma.
Yeah, Emma's amazing.
Emma Chamberlain. She's
incredible.
I think she's up to about like 30-something kilos, and like she did Samson again on the weekend. Like she lost she did the class this morning, and she did Samson on Saturday, and it was funny because on the weekend I was going through my phone, had no space left of all the videos and shit's on there. So I was deleting them off there, and I come across that of her flipping a tyre from December 2018, I think. Yeah, 2018, I think it was. Yeah, it would have been December 2018. Unrecognisable. That's her. That much bigger.
Because I walk in the bank there, I think, geez, you're looking good, Emma. She looks sensational compared to what she. Well, she's still a lovely person, but bloody what she is now, and Samson, it's like cheese.
Even when there's a few people looking around at my phone, and as I said, it's unrecognisable. Like from that side on, like at the side on, like a profile, it looks totally different. And someone like her, and then it's not only changed her lifestyle, but then she's got her husband in training at the gym, so he's changed his. So he's doing an 8-week challenge at the moment now. She's doing one as well. You know, just the kids are all, you know, they get TikTok nutrition meals. So they're all eating healthy. They're all a lot more health conscious, as opposed to it wasn't something where she just got starved to lose a heap of kilos and then away she goes and leave her to do her own thing.
Like totally changed the lifestyle.
Changed the lifestyle, and that's not the only one. There's another guy that just did Samson too, named Andy Ryan. He's just an accountant from in town here. We put some pictures up on our Instagram, on the Cyclone Instagram page the other day, and I think it's like a 1 year difference. It looks like two different people. You know, and like he did the Samson on the weekend with his brothers and that's the same thing. Like one person that come in and did one of our 8-week challenges and then hasn't left. Part of the furniture now. But the results are there, and now he's getting, you know, brought his family in as well. Part of the community, part of the family. Yeah, and they all bring their families in, and you know, and that's what we try to do. We try and get it so that they're getting results, but the results are long lasting. It's not something that's just going to come and go. You know, they're going to get, as I said, they're not just going to get it, and then 2 months later, once they go back to their old ways, you know, they're back to eating shitty fast food. You know, they're back to, you know, Macca's drive-through, and then, you know, they're off somewhere else saying that, well, what we did didn't work because they're fat again or whatever, you know.
Well, I hate that.
Because and then people do that, and they go to another gym and say, I used to go to this gym, and, you know, people come to us and say that, and I say, hey, come on. We've been around long enough to know that it wasn't your last trainer that made you go back through Macca's. Like, hey, no one drove your car for you. we get it a lot, saying like people will say, oh, I really want change and I want this and that, and I tell you the days that you get it: Monday, Tuesday, possibly Wednesday. You get all the people that want to change. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is like a brand new year. Yeah, they want all the change, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
it's KFC.
It's fucking shit the rest of the week. And then Sunday they feel miserable, and you get the messages Sunday night. I'm gonna can I get a PT? I want a meal plan. I want this and all that. And like, yeah. And it's you know it's just like for them that's their revolving door lifestyle. Is like the start of the week is they want to beat the world. They want to change the world. Then the last part of the week is like, well, fuck, where can I get the first vodka Red Bull? I'm going to get on the piss. Which is true.
Because they're sore from Sunday.
Yeah, and I think this area, just the drinking culture is massive here. It's like whether you
I agree,
learn it from
yeah.
your parents or something like that. I'm not sure, but
Australian / whatever it is, but this local area too seem to be.
I think it's just maybe it's like lack of opportunities for kids, like teenagers and stuff like that. I'm
But there's
not
plenty
sure.
of opportunities. They don't broaden their horizons. Like, you know, how many gyms are there in town? Like, they're about to open up another one.
Yeah.
You know, how many of those? How many we've got sporting events. We've got bloody racing. We've got, you know, there's so many things in there. But I think it's culture from their parents. That's where I think it comes in.
It's something not good anyway.
Yeah, I think that. I've spoke to other people about it before about that, and I think like we were even as adults. Like if I want to catch up with my mates, what's the first thing you do is say, oh, you want to catch up for a beer?
Yeah.
When I was in New Zealand at City Kickboxing, it wasn't like that. They're in just over the ditch, like, you know, it was not like that at all. When they wanted to catch up, it was like they caught up as a group and they'd have like barbecues at each other's houses and that. Maybe there'd be 1 or 2 beers, but that wasn't
The main issue.
that wasn't the main issue. It's like here, it's like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Do you want to go to the pub?
Yeah.
It's like straight away. It's like, well, we're going to get on the piss.
And if you don't drink, you're a weirdo.
And if you don't drink, like, so obviously I don't have the opportunity to do that all the time. Like, obviously everyone does it every now and then, but and you become disconnected from your friends, almost like you become an outcast, which, you know, and it's all because you don't
Choose not to drink.
choose not to drink as much because you're going to be a bit healthier. And
Yeah.
we try and encourage that as best we can at the gym. You know what I mean?
Well, moderation, like have a couple of beers, but you don't have to have a 6-pack every night. You don't have to smash yourself every
Yeah, well,
weekend.
you don't have to go out on Saturday night and go to bed when the sun comes up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then feel sorry for yourself for 2 days.
Yeah. And then, how long are you going to act like 40, 50-year-old and act like a 20-year-old?
Yeah, well, they also this area they still do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a culture for here. I don't think it's all of Australia. I think it's this area. Like you go to the big. I don't know, maybe because I don't know as many people, but go to the Gold Coast, it doesn't seem to be the same. Like we've got mates up there, and it doesn't seem to be the same. It's like they go to the beach or they train. They all got something. They got a common interest.
Yeah.
The common interest in this area seems to be getting on the piss.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
All right, off that one.
Yeah.
smash Lismore enough.
Yeah. Sorry, Lismore.
I want to go back to, because hopefully there's some young kids listening to this or watching it as well that maybe aspire to be an MMA fighter or a fighter or just get into fitness. I want to go in a 12-month period, not maybe an 8-week camp because that's probably intense, but what do you do as a professional athlete to stay on top of your game? What do you do training wise?
As I said before, like anything you do in, well, I guess any facet of life, everyone has like a coach, like I guess a form of a coach. Like if you want to get better at anything, you have to find someone who's better than you at it or can coach you at it to get better. You can't just do it on your own. Yeah. That's what I do. I just make sure that whatever it is I want to work on or for whatever I need, I just make sure I've got coaches that help me. So outside of fighting, outside of fight camps or in fight camps, I still do the same thing. It's not too much different. It's not like you can go from, just living in the pub, like I was saying, every weekend, to then all of a sudden go, all right, well, I got to fight in 8 weeks, so I suppose better put some gloves on then. It doesn't work that way. You still just train all year round. It's just you just pick it up as the 8 weeks you're in that 8 weeks. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but what do you during the week? Is there days where you'll strike? Is there days that you'll wrestle? Is there days that you do something else? Strength, legs, upper, whatever.
Yeah, it's always structured. Like if you were to, obviously, an easy way for a lot of people, whoever's listening, to understand it would be that if you go to the gym and train, you're not going to do, not necessarily. No, I shouldn't say you're not going to do because you can do it, but not necessarily. You're not going to go do squats Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. Every single day. You're not going to do deadlifts every single day. You're going to go maybe like you got a squat dominant day on the Monday, and then it's going to be a bench dominant day on the Wednesday. Or if you're doing a bodybuilding program, it might be like a legs, a push pull, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be same thing. So same as with mine, it's not going to be striking every day. No. It's definitely not going to be resting every day because your body won't hold up. Yeah. Because it's quite heavy on your body. It's in the same jiu-jitsu. You're gonna mix and match. There's gonna be days where it's gonna be focused more on wall work. It's gonna be days where it's focused more on the technique on the wall or technique on the ground. Then there's gonna be days where it's, you're gonna get smashed where it's just all out wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then there's going to be a sparring day. It could be once or twice a week, and so it's kind of all over. It's structured, so you know that you're not going to go Monday night sparring, Tuesday morning sparring, right?
Yeah.
So if Monday night sparring, that's a heavy workload. It takes it out of you. So Tuesday morning is probably going to be something a lot lighter.
Yeah.
So it's going to look like that, you know what I mean? Like an undulating program. It's going to go up and down the whole way through the week, so that you're getting your recovery. You can't have high.
No.
For one, your body won't handle it. You can't get the nutrition in for it. You'll be wrecked. By come Wednesday, your body will be screwed. You know, and then you're looking to have. That's when you're going to get injuries and shit like that, when you're really fatigued. So you're going to go high, low. It could be like high, low, medium, low, high, things like that.
Or you used to, do you still use monitors to govern when you're going to do your hard training and stuff?
Yeah, so I always use a heart rate monitor. Yeah. There's never, so when I wake up in the morning, I put my heart rate monitor that's next to my bed. I put that on, do my HRV. That usually will give you an indication of how well you recovered.
Yeah.
So that's like your parasympathetic nervous system and things like that. I don't know if anyone knows what HRV is, but yeah, it just basically, it tells you how well you rested. So if your body's not rested, if you haven't got the recovery, it'll tell you that not to train that. It'll say go for a walk this morning, and then so what you do, you just cancel that session.
Yep.
You know, like sometimes you can play with it a bit, but you want to pay attention to it, and then during the session,
for longevity.
For longevity, yeah. And same as during the sessions, always have a heart rate monitor on, so it helps. Not only does it help, you know, like you say, if you're working on cardiac output, or you're trying to build a bigger cardio motor, essentially, you know what I mean. You want to be able to go for longer. You're not going to go try and get red zone, because you're not going to stay in there long enough.
Yep.
You want to try and hit, you know, on your. So my heart rate monitor obviously goes to the phone. You want to be able to watch that, and try and stay in that green zone. You know, so that way you're working on your cardio as opposed to doing sprints on the assault bike, which is going to be more anaerobic threshold. So you really start to play with your energy systems, as opposed to just hoping for the best. Like, you know, we always say that if you're not testing, you're guessing.
Yeah, which is another thing. You know, with your career at the moment, you would have seen this technology come further and further and further, and make your training much easier now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, you see, when
I guess heart monitors.
Yeah, well, when I first started, I didn't even know what a heart monitor was. Had no idea. When I first started at that first place that we won't mention, we used to do that. He'll get you to 220 minus your age was your max heart rate. Mine's not that. That's not a real measure, because everyone's different. That means everyone's heart pumps the same amount of volume. Yeah, so every 32-year-old like myself pumps the same amount of blood around their body. Well, no, that's not how it works. Everyone's heart's different. So you would get flogged, like fucking flogged. And then in the rest, he'd test your heart rate, and if it wasn't 220 minus your age, like, you're not working hard enough. I'm like fucking green, ready to vomit. Like, mate, it's not going any higher. Lo and behold, that if you have
you
a high,
are not dead.
Yeah. Lo and behold, if you have a high stroke volume, then your heart rate doesn't get higher, because every time it pumps enough oxygen around. So we worked out, like I did up at Fighting Fit, we did my VO2 max test. I think my heart rate like maxed out. I think it was like 177.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, so if you do 220 minus your age, that ain't 220 minus 32. It's not 177. So if you go 220 minus my age, it's fucking well up there. I can't get that high. On VO2 max, you can watch on the screen, and he shows you the test results afterwards. You can see that there's 3 lines on there, which shows your muscles still getting oxygen. Yeah. And it shows when you're no longer produce enough oxygen to get to your muscles, and that's when the test starts to fail.
Yeah.
Mine was 177, and the lines crossed over, and I was gone. There's nothing there. He even said, I knew you didn't have much left in you. You know what I mean? Because you could watch the graph was falling.
So when you've done a fight, you've done the training, do you rewatch that fight, and obviously with some of the coaches you probably have, you rewatch it, and obviously before you watch the guy that you're fighting.
Before, watch the ones you do, just see what mistakes you made and what you could do better. But yeah, definitely watch the guys you're fighting beforehand. You want to pick up anything. When I first started out, not as much, because you know when you have amateur fights, you only had 1 or 2, so you can change so much in that time. But I guess once you've had a fair few fights, you kind of got a style. You can't, no matter how much you try, you're not really going to go away from that too much. So anyone that I'm fighting now, obviously I'll watch to see if they've got any like little tells. You know, like the
feints and little.
Yeah, you'll just see the different things they do, like you know, their footwork. You know, whether after they throw their strikes, whether they take their hands back to their chin, or you know, they roll their punches back out.
And you're conscious of yourself doing that too, aren't you? You video yourself and watch that sort of stuff. And
yeah, you always, you know, you just got to see what, you mainly just looking for little things they do or things they specialise in, you know, like if they wrestle lots, like what do they do before they shoot for a double leg? What do they do before they go for a single leg? How do they set it up, you know, or when you press forward, how do they move and things like that, and you can start to pick up, you know, you pick up a good idea.
Handy now, having those New Zealand guys in your corner, they specifically look at that stuff as well?
Yeah, but Brad does, yeah. Brad, I always send through my opponents to Brad, and he breaks it down really well. He's had, I think, it's well up there, about to be close to 100 kickboxing fights, I would say, like between Muay Thai and kickboxing, and I think he's had about 9 or 10 MMA now, like 2 in the UFC, 2-0 in the UFC. So and he comes out and does seminars around Australia as well. Like you know, the way he breaks down striking is on another level compared to anyone.
Yeah.
You know, the way that the guys in New Zealand have their striking system set out is on a complete another level. Hence why they're doing so well in, you know, they're doing so well in boxing and kickboxing and MMA. They're beating everyone. Yeah.
All right.
We're getting closer now. We're up at 47 minutes, which is unreal. What we might do, if you've got it there, do you want to give some of your sponsors a plug?
Yeah, I'll see what ones I've got there. some of them ditch me.
We'll talk about TikTok because they're massive in your corner. They help with nutrition and stuff.
Yeah. But it's,
not just athletes can use that, can they?
No, anyone can use TikTok. So but yeah, look, with fighting, it's quite cutthroat. You lose one, and no one wants to know. You win one, they'll love you. So they come and go pretty regularly. But I've got the main ones that have stuck with me would definitely be TikTok, Geordie from the Fight Dietitian, and Wojciech Bilski, who's a local max fac surgeon around here.
Yeah.
He's always helped me, and a mate of mine who I hope one day he's get on the podcast as well, Deese McDonald from Eco Electrics. He's always been in my corner from day dot. So they're the main ones that have stuck by me through the whole lot, you know. So, but as for TikTok, you don't. Yeah, it's not just for people that, you know. I guess you couldn't even say athletes or anything like that. It's just for anyone that's
mums and dads.
It's just for anyone that wants to get on top of their nutrition and don't have time to.
And where are they based? Where's based?
Just in Ballina.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So look, Matt's a local dude. Matt Brunson, local dude. He's got Sasha's Fine Foods in Ballina, Main Street, Ballina. He just started doing it from there. I met him just through a mutual friend kind of thing, like a lady I was training, and she worked at the Lennox Head gym and said that she was getting the meals. And I was like, oh, I'll try them out. I reached out to him and we had a chat, and he's like, I'll give you some meals to try, and then we built from there. And then from sponsoring me, he's now goes to all the Australian UFC events, New Zealand UFC events. He makes the food, like he supplies the food for the fighters. So I believe in Melbourne, he was supplying all the meals. Him and Geordie now work together.
Yep.
So that's how that connection come about. Now they work together, so Geordie obviously sends him through all the information for the meals I need. He supplies the meals and then drops them to me. So I've got my whole week all planned out, which suits every single training session I do, which is all in the schedule. So, but it doesn't have, obviously that's one end of it. The other end of it is you can be just anyone that's just time poor. If you got kids and you just don't have time to make that whole meal prepping and you don't have time to meal prep, you don't have time to make your food the day before, you got to work next day. You can have 5 of these meals in the fridge. They last they're guaranteed for I think it's like 8 or 9 days now with this new packaging he's got.
Yep.
So you can have them in the fridge for the whole week. So you get them on the Thursday, order them on the Monday on his website. You get them that Thursday. You've got them. You can have them for the whole next week from Monday to Friday. You know what I mean? Right. So it's 2 minutes in the microwave. You got a meal, like a healthy meal. 3 different size options as well. So depending on they're actually goal orientated. If you're looking to lean up, lose a bit of weight, they have like a shred option, a performance option, and then a gain option. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, you can, and it's just from general food. It's not like you're having dry chicken with broccoli or like the archaic way of eating. It's just normal food, but it's just nutritious. It's all fresh, nutritious food. So, but yeah, if anyone's listening wants to look at it, just go on the website.
Yeah, I'll put the links on there.
And check them out. So
now, career-wise, this is the final stuff. Come towards the end of the podcast. What's coming in the future with your career with the fighting? What's next?
Well, as I said, I was at a fight show on the weekend where I spoke to the promoter, and we are looking at getting a match with a guy I was meant to fight last year, but he got injured.
Yep. So
even though I'm getting up there, I think I've still got a few more kilometres in me.
Yep.
A couple more surgeries probably, so there's still a bit more left. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I'll be on Eternal down in Melbourne. I believe it'll be July 17 off the top of my head from what they said to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which I've spoke to my physio, and they've said that that's a good time frame. I've got probably a couple more weeks on light duties, and
We'll
then
whack that on too.
yeah, so then I'll be good to go. So I'm hoping I'll get down there and get a couple. So hopefully, if all goes to plan, I would like to get I'd like to get 2 or 3 in before the end of the year.
Yep.
Right.
So get back over New Zealand and get another couple in. So do the Wimp to Worry thing here. You've got, Selby coming over, who's a good coach. Well, he's helped coach me before.
Yep.
Come over, he can hold some pads and kind of quarterback that stuff for me here, and then shoot over there you only got to shoot over 2 weeks on, come back for 2 weeks, back over, you know what I mean, and then hopefully that for the remainder of the year and get a few going.
Yeah, unreal. Mate, thanks for your time. Thanks for coming in.
Mate.
That's it. So all the stuff that Brentin spoke about, we'll put on the link, put on the show notes. We'll link to the TikTok, the studio where you can train. His next fight, all sorts of stuff. So that's it, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate.